Let me ask you something. Have you ever looked at one of your Etsy listings and kind of just thought, I don't know, I filled everything in. It doesn't really feel right. It's not really converting. I have no idea what I've done wrong or what is wrong or what Etsy's doing now in order to not show my listing, right? And at this point, a lot of people tend to go, oh, it must be my product. My product must be awful, or I must not be very good. And we start to like creatively doubt ourselves. And that is actually wrong, because most listings fail because the buyer doesn't understand quick enough what the listing is actually about, whether it suits them, whether it fits them. And that's the thing, is that we know a confused mind says no. So that means if your listing is confusing in any way, shape, or form, people are automatically going to go, I haven't got time to even begin to figure out whether this is for me or not. So in this episode, I'm actually going to show you how to fix that. And by the end, you are going to know exactly what to fix in your listings without having to overhaul your entire shop or overwhelm yourself. And if we haven't met yet, hello, my name is Steph. And if you're listening to the podcast version, hello, podcast listeners. And if you didn't know, guys, if YouTube is not really your thing, if there's too much going on and you're just like, I just need to get the information and I need to do it fast, then go ahead and listen to the podcast version. All you need to do is search how to be a handmade boss on anywhere that serves up podcasts and you will find me. I coach handmade business owners from the very beginning, when the idea of their product is just a little twinkle in their eye, all the way up to six-figure business powerhouses that I help teach. And if you're watching or listening to this, chances are you've made a couple of sales, you're trying, but your listings still feel clunky and inconsistent, or like honestly, like you're just guessing what people want and where. Today is all about clarity. So I'm going to basically explain in a psychological way how Etsy buyers actually behave, what they notice first, and what you do not need to obsess over yet. Now, I have got my iPad here, I have got notes. So if you see my eyes darting around, that'll be why, just because I've got notes here, I've got iPad here, and I just want to get as much information across as I possibly can. Now let's just talk about how people really shop on Etsy, because it's different. For those of you who have your own website, people arrive onto Etsy already in buying mode. They are searching for something specific, even if they're not wording it right. Someone's first search is always going to be very, very different. So I just want to explain this really, really quickly, is that you have your first search, okay? And then you have your second search. And basically, this is where people are looking at the results and kind of going, okay, in my mind's eye, I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking it should be this color. It should be this size. It should have this on it. So therefore, people are naturally going to change their search as time goes on, okay? So it's at this time where you need to have your keywords all ready for someone that is in their third or fourth iteration of that search, okay? So I did a live about this a couple of weeks ago now, and I love really digging into this because this is such an aha moment for a lot of people, is that you shouldn't be adding words, photos, basically setting your listing up for someone's first search, because 9 times out of 10, they are not buying from their first search, the second search. They're really only buying from their third or their fourth or their fifth, okay? And that is honestly a truth that a lot of handmade business owners completely miss. So when someone is looking at the search results, they're going to be asking themselves 3 questions. Number 1, is this what I'm looking for? Number 2, can I trust the seller? Like, do they have reviews? Am I feeling okay about, actually punching in my credit card numbers, paying money and actually getting the thing that I'm hoping I'm going to get? And number 3, does this feel worth the money? Now, for a lot of you who are concerned about, is it that people are not spending right now? Is it that the economic climate, political climate is just making people go, I'm not going to spend? The thing that I've seen and tested over and over and over again is this whole idea of value, okay? Now, it's not that people are not spending, it's that people need to be convinced of all those 3 questions. Is it what I'm looking for? Can I trust this person? But also, is it worth the money? And I think as time has gone on, like if we look at 2020 all the way to today, which is 2026, is that people's value for what they're spending and their expectations of it has climbed. Okay, so it's not that people are not spending, in my opinion. Now, depending on where you live and what you're looking at, you might feel differently, and that's fine. But in my tests, I've just seen that people need to see the value a lot more in order for them to spend. On the screen now, if you're watching the video version of this, you are going to see a pyramid, a hierarchy, if you will, okay? Right at the top, we have photos. Underneath that, we have titles. Underneath that, we have price. And underneath that, we have description. Now, what I tend to see is that it is honestly in that order of how important these things are. What you're going to see here is that photos are actually above titles, SEO, tags, all that kind of stuff. And that is a shift that we have seen happen over the last year and a half to 2 years, is that people are like, okay, I get the SEO is important, but actually I need to like visually see. It's that whole thing that I've been saying and banging on about for months, is show, don't tell. People do not really read. You'll see the descriptions are right at the bottom of this like pyramid on the screen, this hierarchy. And honestly, like that is how people do shop. Now, what a lot of sellers will do is they'll try and fix this from the bottom up. But as you can see, customers are viewing this from the top down. So they will rewrite descriptions, they will tweak their keywords, they will stress about SEO and the title. But if the photo doesn't stop the scroll, all of this is just a complete waste of time. So this on screen, and for audio listeners, as a reminder, photo, title, price, description, in that order is the most important things that your customers are looking for. What's basically going to affect your conversion rate. Now, I want to talk about each one. So let's talk about photos first, okay? Your first photo's job, or your thumbnail image, is not to be artistic. And I think a lot of people get this confused, where they think, okay, like Etsy is a very creative platform. I need to make sure that my first photo is as creative, with loads of props and loads of colors and loads of this. But that's not what its first job is. Its first job is to be obvious, okay? Because when someone is scrolling Etsy search results, they are seeing tiny images scrolling past very, very quickly, side by side with your competitors, okay? If they cannot instantly tell what the product is, who it's for, and how it's used, they instantly move on. And I honestly think this is one of the most underrated things that a lot of shops just do not get, is that your photos are so important. Now, I'm not saying that you have to immediately go out and get a professional photographer on board to take your product pictures, because actually I have had, I want to say like 8 to 9 professional photo shoots of my products and myself in the past. And I would say maybe 50% of the time they are like chef's kiss, and actually probably the other 50% of the time, for whatever reason, they've just not really come back how I envision, looking at the perfect thumbnail image. You can totally do this yourself. And actually inside of the HBSA, we teach you exactly how, with the help of a professional. Clear beats clever every single time, especially when it comes to your thumbnail image. So that means the product is the main focus, not your props, not the background, your product. The lighting is bright and airy, not overexposed, not really, really dark. It has to just be that it's bright enough to jump out on the screen. Scale of the actual item, scale and color and all that kind of thing, is obvious where needed. Obviously, if you're looking at selling a table or a phone case, that might be a little bit tricky or might not be necessarily needed. But this is where modeled shots do really, really well as thumbnail images, because you can immediately see, like, okay, it's being worn. Like, what does it actually look like? How will it hang? And they can imagine seeing it on themselves in their lives. The last thing is what is included is very, very clear. I shop on Etsy a lot. And I cannot tell you the amount of times that I have seen really overly confusing images. So recently I bought this little gold bracelet that you see me wearing all the time. It took me like 2 hours, and it's quite a simple thing. Like, for those of you who are listening on the podcast, it is a gold-plated silver gold bracelet with a very, very thin engraved bar on it. So it's not like something ridiculously special, but it literally took me 2 hours because I had to surf through loads of product images where they had like multiple bracelets in one image. They had 3 different sizes, they had 3 different colors. Like, it just got to the point where I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, people are just not being clear enough with actually what's included and what they're going to get. Now let's talk about your titles. Okay, your title is the reassurance that backs up whatever is in your photos. It basically tells the buyer, yes, this is what you search for. It's not there to be poetic. It's not there to impress anybody. Like, buyers are skimming your title. And to be honest with you, they're only really looking at the first third, because the rest of it is either hidden or they just cannot be bothered to look at it. If your title is only making sense after someone clicks, to get into your listing to expand it, it's no good. Also, one other thing is you do not need to keyword stuff. I see this happen a lot where someone will go silver necklace, silver elephant necklace, 925 elephant necklace, you don't need to really be doing that. It's not 2015 on Etsy anymore. Like, keyword stuffing doesn't really work. And going back to that whole search thing again, if someone's 3rd, 4th, or 5th search is personalized pink teacher gift mug, your title needs to exactly match that in the first third, because that is then going to reassure the buyer, okay, yes, this is exactly the thing that I search for, therefore it's exactly the thing that I want. We basically call this the rule of continuity, and that means that you have to match up what your photo is showing with what your title is showing with exactly what your target audience is searching for, okay? That way, the buyer's mind cannot get confused. It's so easy to go, oh yeah, that matches up with the words that I've been using, and the whole process just becomes so streamlined that you're going to get more sales because people aren't having to second guess and think, oh, does this match what I'm thinking of? Like, is this exactly what I'm after? Do I have to edit my search again? Do I have to continue scrolling? No, you've shown them a photo, which is exactly what in their mind's eye they wanted, and your title matches that as well. Now let's talk about price, okay? I'm not going to talk too much about price because a lot of this depends on what the product is, how you make it, how many hours it takes. So I can't really have any opinion on what exactly your prices should be. But that whole thing in the beginning of this where I said buyers now need to see the value, and it needs to be like a show, don't tell, is super, super important. So what I would say is perceived value pricing is more important than ever, which means you don't want to be the cheapest, because buyers, especially on Etsy, they're not coming in with the intention of getting the cheapest possible thing, because there's Amazon for that, there's eBay for that, like whatever, they can go there. What they're looking for is the best quality. And I think this is where a lot of people trip up when they're listing, is that they're going, I have this mug for sale, and for audio listeners, I'm literally holding up, the blue mug with the S on it that I've been using for the last 5 years of my life. They literally will go, oh, hey, that's a blue mug with an initial on it. Therefore, I need to undercut everybody else that has that same thing. But what you're not taking into account is that, yes, competitors might be cheaper, but also their photos might be awful, their titles might be awful, their customer service, their reviews might be awful. So you're not on like a level pegging with every single competitor out there. And nor would I say you have to know your competitors that much in depth to make a pricing decision. My rule of thumb is, as long as you're not like a brand spanking new shop, you're good at what you do, you've gone through this, your photos are good, your titles are good, you should be charging in the higher end of whatever pricing bracket there is, okay? Now let's talk about descriptions, okay? So descriptions actually sell Descriptions are one of those things that people kind of go, oh, this is like a last thought for me. Like I'm listing, I'm putting all my effort into my SEO, my photos, my price, and the description's kind of like I'll sort of do that at the end, okay? Now, the problem here is that if someone is reading your description, they are one of two camps, okay? Camp number one, they are a little bit confused about what you're visually showing them and maybe your title, okay? So they need to find out a little bit more before they buy. Or they've already decided and they just need to like solidify their decision. So as you can imagine, most buyers, by the time they get to your description, are 80% of the way to adding it to their cart. That is something that has psychologically been proven over and over again. Now, yes, most buyers skim. Most buyers skim descriptions that are not very well written, that don't have a lot of bullet points, that are just an endless wall of text. You know, if your description is more than 3 to 4 paragraphs long, something's gone wrong there. You do not need to add postage details or anything like that because Etsy does that for you, okay? They want reassurance, okay? So they want to know, what exactly am I going to get? How does this work? And is there anything I should know? Now, a fourth bullet point is there any frequently asked questions that I need to have answered before I'm going to add this to my cart? Your description needs to persuade, but it also needs to remove doubt. So what I want to say next is, here are some things that I've seen people obsess over that I've coached that actually I've then gone, hey, you know what? We need to we don't need to do this. Yeah. Perfect SEO, perfect wording, perfect branding, everything formatted perfectly. Packaging being absolutely perfect, products being absolutely perfect. Like these are all things that is actually taking you away from the 4 things that actually make sales. Photos, title, price, description, in that order. All right, so I'm going to leave you with your homework, okay? And your homework for this week is to choose one listing, and I want you to go through the hierarchy. Is the first photo clear? Does the title say exactly what it is? Is the price in the upper bracket, and is it perceived value pricing? And does the description remove doubt? Fix only that one listing this week, and then maybe do another one the next day or the next week or whatever. Just go through this video. Please do not watch it. And then that's it. You're never going to view it again, because honestly, this is exactly what you need to focus on. And I mean that. This will increase your conversion rate. Master these 4 things, and that will help you. All right, if you like this video, if you got some value from it, please do not forget to subscribe to my channel. If you're listening on the podcast, hey, subscribe there too. You can subscribe anywhere. And if you want to interchange, if you're watching the video and you're thinking this would be better on the podcast or vice versa, then you know where to find me. I'm on YouTube and I'm on anywhere that serves up podcasts. But for now, guys, thank you so much for listening/watching, and I will see you all real soon. Bye, everyone.